The messengers forged in the gut. How prebiotics influence the brain. The act of feeding your gut bacteria with prebiotics sets off a cascade of events that culminates in profound changes to your brain chemistry. Here's how the messages are sent. 1. The neurotransmitter factory. Your gut microbes are prolific chemists. While they don't produce neurotransmitters that directly cross into the brain, they produce the precursors in massive quantities. GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid. This is your brain's primary brake pedal, a calming neurotransmitter that counteracts anxiety and promotes a state of relaxed focus. Certain strains of bacteria, like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, which thrive on prebiotics, have been shown to produce GABA. Serotonin, often called the happiness molecule, approximately 90% of your body's serotonin is produced in the gut. Specifically, enterochromaffin cells in the gut lining synthesize serotonin, and their function is heavily influenced by the metabolites produced by your gut bacteria. Prebiotics, by shaping a healthy microbiome, create an environment conducive to optimal serotonin production. Dopamine and norepinephrine. Gut bacteria also produce precursors to these crucial neurotransmitters, which govern motivation, reward, and attention. 2. The short-chain fatty acid, SCFA, superstars. This is perhaps the most critical mechanism. When your good bacteria feast on prebiotics, they ferment them and produce short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs, primarily butyrate, acetate, and propionate. These SCFAs are not just waste products, they are powerful signaling molecules with direct effects on the brain. Butyrate, the brain protector. Butyrate is the primary fuel for the cells lining your colon, strengthening the gut barrier and preventing leaky gut. But crucially, it can also cross the blood-brain barrier. In the brain, butyrate acts as an epigenetic regulator. It enhances the expression of genes responsible for producing brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein essential for learning, memory, and the survival of neurons. It also has potent anti-inflammatory effects, calming microglia, the brain's immune cells, and reducing neuroinflammation, which is linked to depression and anxiety. Acetate and propionate, the appetite and immunity regulators. These SCFAs travel to the brain and influence the hypothalamus, helping to regulate appetite and satiety. They also play a role in modulating the systemic immune response, preventing chronic, low-grade inflammation that can cloud thinking and dampen mood. 3. The vagus nerve direct line. The messages from the gut don't only travel through the blood. The vagus nerve is a direct neural pathway. SCFAs and other microbial metabolites can stimulate the vagus nerve, sending electrical signals to the brain that influence mood, stress response, and even social behavior. Studies have shown that the beneficial effects of certain probiotics on anxiety and depression are completely abolished if the vagus nerve is severed, proving its critical role as a communication superhighway. 4. The inflammation firewall. A gut microbiome starved of prebiotics is a dysbiotic one. Harmful bacteria can take over, which can damage the single-cell thick lining of the intestine, leading to a leaky gut. This allows bacterial fragments like LPS, lipopolysaccharide, to leak into the bloodstream, triggering a systemic inflammatory response. This inflammation crosses the blood-brain barrier, activating the brain's immune cells and leading to neuroinflammation, a key driver of brain fog, fatigue, depression, and neurodegenerative diseases. Prebiotics fortify the gut lining and promote a healthy microbial balance, acting as a firewall against this inflammatory cascade. The proof is in the feeding, mental health, and cognitive benefits. The theory is compelling, but does it translate to tangible benefits? The research says yes. Reduced anxiety and stress. Human studies have shown that supplementing with prebiotics like GOS and FOS can lower cortisol levels, the stress hormone, reduce attentional vigilance to negative information, a hallmark of anxiety, and improve emotional processing. Antidepressant effects. The anti-inflammatory and neurogenesis-promoting effects of butyrate have led researchers to investigate prebiotics as potential adjuncts to antidepressant therapy. By creating a physiological environment conducive to positive mood, they can work synergistically with other treatments. Improved memory and cognition. The boost in BDNF from SCFAs like butyrate directly supports synaptic plasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections and strengthen existing ones. This is the fundamental cellular basis of learning and memory. How to feed your mind. A practical guide. Harnessing the power of the gut-brain axis is accessible to everyone. It requires a shift from seeing fiber as a bland necessity to viewing it as a targeted mental health strategy. 1. Prioritize prebiotic-rich foods. Make these food staples in your diet. Garlic and onions, the all-stars of the prebiotic world. Add them to sauces, sautés, and dressings. Leeks and asparagus. Excellent sources of inulin. Chicory root, often found in fiber, coffee substitutes. Jerusalem artichokes, sunchokes, a powerhouse of inulin. Green bananas and plantains, rich in resistant starch. Cooked and cooled potatoes and rice. The cooling process transforms their starches into a resistant form that acts as a prebiotic. A potato salad can be a brain food. Oats and barley. 2. Start low and go slow. If your current diet is low in fiber, a sudden influx of prebiotics can cause gas and bloating as your microbiome adjusts. Introduce these foods gradually. 3. Diversity is key. Don't just rely on one source. A diverse range of prebiotic fibers supports a more diverse and resilient microbiome, which in turn produces a wider array of beneficial messengers. The final message. The old adage, "You are what you eat," requires a radical update. It's not just you eating. You are feeding a universe within. The conversation between your gut and your brain is constant, and the quality of that dialogue depends on the messengers you send down. Prebiotics are not merely food for bacteria. They are the foundational language of a conversation that dictates your mental clarity, emotional resilience, and cognitive vitality. By consciously choosing to feed your gut with these powerful fibers, you are doing more than aiding digestion. You are directly and profoundly nourishing your mind.